Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to a very spooky episode of We Watch Shudder. My name is Michelle, and who's here with me?
It's an extra spooky JD.
It's an extra spooky JD. It's always an extra spooky JD, and it's always a somewhat spooky Michelle.
But
welcome.
If it's well, hang on. First,
yeah.
Wait, what the fuck was that supposed to mean?
What?
Are you suggesting I'm the spookier of the two?
Yeah, I can't be intimidating.
Like I'm somehow creepier. Is that what you're saying here,
Not
Michelle?
creepier. I just am extra soft.
Well,
I have never been threatening in my life.
Well,
I have tried.
That's fair.
Yeah,
anyway,
I've definitely
guys.
tried. I'm not intimidating. I'm soft.
Man, we're off to a banging start here in Spooktober.
Soft and banging, just like how we do it here on We Watch Shudder. Soft and banging go hand in hand like ketchup and a piece of steak. Anyway,
so why are we talking to these
Spooktober.
people on a Sunday, Michelle? Why are we talking to them? Is it a Sunday? Yeah, it should be Sunday, October 1st if we did this,
I did have
right?
a moment of panic because I went, oh my God, it's Sunday. I have to work tomorrow. And I do, but for a different reason. Hello.
Spoiler alert, guys. We work
Spooktober.
smarter, not harder. We're recording in advance this year just like we did last year.
Yeah, and we will
no
remind
way
you every episode.
Look, we love you, but there's no way we're going to actually get up and record and produce a new podcast for you every single day, 30 consecutive days in a row. I'm sorry. I guess what I'm saying is I love you, but there are limits.
Yeah, no, my limits would definitely end very, very much. So yeah, Spooktober. A lot of people, including us, like to watch a movie every day in October, and we're still going to be doing that. And last year we released an episode. I was waiting for a yep there. I thought you were going to keep doing it. Yep. Okay. You're my hype man. We released an episode every day, and we did have to watch
every day.
DJ Khaled. They're so gone. All our Spooktober listeners are gone.
We've driven them all away, and we haven't even talked about the movie yet.
Okay, let's restart. For Spooktober, we like to watch watch a movie every day, and we're doing that this year, and we are dropping an episode every day, but we had to have a gimmick. And our gimmick is that we picked short films because you know what? There's a whole lot of gold out there, and we wanted to find the gold in them thar hills, and so we
also
did.
As it turns out, we had much less time to work with this year than we did last year, so short films seemed like the smart way to go.
I'm an overachiever. I would absolutely record an episode every day and drop it if I just had to monologue for a half hour, but we won't do that to these
Well, it's fortunate
poor
for
folks.
you that I am a perennial underachiever, Michelle, so here we are.
A perennial is a space between an asshole and testicles, isn't it?
No, that's
Are
a
you
perineum.
a perennial? Oh, okay. I think a perennial is also
perennial.
a flower. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you are a flower. We are both soft.
No,
okay.
There are flowers that are perennial. It's anyway, we're watching short horror films all month long and dropping episodes about short horror films for you here in Spooktober. We got 4 weeks with some themes associated. We got some special requests that we're going to be doing from some of the listeners. Sorry, by the way, if you thinking, oh, I got a short you guys should watch this month. It's too late. We've been asking for them for 2 months. Where were you?
But maybe I do still want it. I do still want to watch it.
Yeah, so maybe you're just starting to listen and I'm being rude. I'm sorry. Go ahead and send us those suggestions. But this schedule has been locked in since early September. It's the 7th of September as we record this, in case you want to peek behind the curtain. Nobody does. I don't know why I bother to mention those things. But what are we doing for week 1, Michelle? We got a theme for week 1. Tell these people what it is.
I will. I do want to also just comment very quickly, as I do, and let you know that if you have sent a movie recommendation to We Watch Shudder, I have gotten it, and I have either watched it or I will watch it very soon. We try to watch everything you guys suggest. Thanks for the 2 Girls, 1 Cup recommendation. That was great. I'm kidding. That did not happen. I was just alive in the early 2000s.
But you've seen it, though, right?
Of course I have, unfortunately. smiling.
Yeah.
So our gimmick for Spooktober, the first week of Spooktober, is we decided that we were going to watch short films that were eventually made into full-length films. So lots of beginnings for bigger filmmakers. And by this point, it's out on social media. So I can just tell you that we've got some stuff from Sam Raimi tonight. We've got some stuff from Mike Flanagan. We've got Art the Clown origins from Terrifier. So it was really fun to dig into the beginnings of these much bigger creators. So without further ado, I feel like we should just get into it. Quick warning, and we will give this warning before every episode this month until we inevitably forget, is that we're not doing a spoiler-free thing. These are short films. You can go watch them. You've seen the title because you clicked the episode. You've seen it on social media because, how do you get to us without knowing what we're watching today? So go check it out if you
do want to check it out, there should be a link to be able to watch the short film in the episode description for every episode this month. So if you're having trouble finding them, we did all the work for you. There'll be a link there. Go watch it, then come back and listen to us. Because, so which one are we talking about today, Michelle? Where are we starting with shorts that became features?
So we're starting way back in the forever ago ages of 1978. I had never heard of this before, but it was Within the Woods, which is Sam Raimi's pre-Evil Dead. Could we say prEvil Dead?
Yes, we could in fact
movie.
say prEvil Dead. Yeah, you could say that.
Minutes.
I like that.
Yeah, prEvil Dead. It's way better than Within the Woods. That sounds like a sequel to Sondheim. Yeah.
And obviously, we talked earlier this year about how you actually just recently saw the Evil Dead films. I believe. Did you say that Evil Dead Rise was the first one you had ever seen?
No. The first one I had seen was the 2013 or whenever
the
that
Alvarez
was. I might have seen the classic before that. I don't think I remembered it if I had. So then I did go watch it after that. We'll talk about how I feel about the classic. I did like the 2013 or whatever year that was. I did like the 2023. Was Evil Dead Rise 23?
Yes, that was just earlier this year.
And then I did recently watch the sequel. And then, what's the back in time one? Army of Darkness. Yeah, after I got the pleasure of meeting the very handsome and charismatic Bill Moseley at a convention and getting to judge a costume contest with him and fangirling. And right before we judged the costume contest, without looking him in the eyes, I just want you to know that I'm a huge fan, but I won't make it awkward. And then it was kind of awkward anyway. So anyway, I did have to go back and watch Army of Darkness,
course.
and I really enjoy that. And I love Bill Moseley.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, so
Platonically.
Within the Woods... 1978. This is a short film that Sam Raimi made, starring Bruce Campbell and Ellen Sandweiss, who both went on to star in the feature-length Evil Dead. And it was kind of a I don't even want to say like a proof of concept idea, but it was just a film they made to kind of show people, hey, we know what we're doing here. Can we get some money from you as an investor to make something even bigger? And as far as I knew, like, you couldn't see this movie anymore. Like, I didn't know, or if it did exist, it was just in a couple of private collections. And then just earlier this year, I found a link on YouTube, of all places, to Within the Woods, prEvil Dead, as Michelle has dubbed it. And I was dumbfounded. Frankly, flabbergasted is a good word as well, and
bewitched,
I had to
bemused.
Right, like this is one of the classic horror franchises of all time, and this short is like a document of like crucial horror history, and so many of us have never had the opportunity to see it. And so I immediately dropped everything, and I had to see it, and I wanted to come here since we're talking about shorts that became features and make this the first short that we talked about this week. So do you want to give people the brief synopsis here, Michelle, of prEvil Dead Within the Woods?
Yeah. So it's Evil Dead, but quicker.
Yeah, that's basically it.
It's a slightly
Dead,
shorter version.
It's shorter and there are fewer characters. That's
Yeah,
it's really
so it's a bite-sized
really all
Evil
there
Dead.
is. Yeah, and it's
The end.
first of all, yeah. I mean that's she's not wrong, you guys.
I'm not. I
It's
never
literally yeah. So but I think the first thing, of course, that jumps out is if you've watched this movie, like do have to comment immediately that like the quality of this is terrible, right? This is like a fifth generation VHS dub off a weird, probably a transfer somehow from the 16 millimeter. It is not great video quality. The tracking breaks up like an old VHS, but I gotta be honest with you, something about that really added something to this movie for me. There's like an extra element of like almost like this is something that we're not supposed to be seeing, right? Or it feels even more almost like naturalistic, and there's just a vibe to it. I think if it had gone on too much longer with that quality, I would have gotten annoyed. But I don't know. How about you? Did you get anything extra out of just the dodgy ass quality of this transfer?
So for a little bit, it was distracting how low the quality is, which makes a lot of sense. And isn't something I'm really holding the short. Like I'm not holding it against the short, like it's from 1978. Technology is very different. I'm used to being able to see every pore on an actor's face, and here I was squinting to make out characters. It is very low quality, especially when you then expand it to be full screen so that you can try to make it out a little bit, but it's impossible. However, I felt like despite the low quality making it hard to see, somehow with the way that the audio transferred, I thought it actually enhanced it from whatever the original was. Kind of the warped mess that the audio became during the creepy parts, I could tell that the initial sound was probably very good to begin with, but it really added to the sound for me, and I feel like that really captured something. And I wish that I knew whether it was just as effective when this was originally made, or if that is an accidental, just
oh
much
no,
better
Michelle, are you still
enhancement.
there?
Oh no, I am still here. Are you still there? Oh no,
Oh
did
no,
I lose JD? Are we haunted?
we've lost Michelle.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to.
Oh, there we go.
Are you back, Michelle?
I am back.
Are you back?
I'm back. Are you back?
Cool.
Well, I guess
back.
we can cut this out.
Probably. But
I
you were
was just
talking about how the
yeah.
audio got enhanced for you.
Yeah, and I ended it on a good note before I realized that you were gone. So you can probably just respond to that.
I think I'm just gonna leave that whole part in where the connection just dropped out on us, and I'm just suddenly like, Michelle, are you there?
And I'm like, I'm ignoring you.
It might be fun for people. No, so yeah,
our audio was not enhanced by the quality.
There was just something, and I think what it is that, for me at least, there's a certain amount of nostalgia for a pre-internet age where everything you wanted to see wasn't just readily available, and tape trading was still a big thing, and there were a lot of these movies that you finally got to see, but again, it was a transfer of a transfer of a transfer. I paid $50 for sixth generation VHS transfers of movies in 1998 and 1999 so that I could see things that I had never seen before, and this definitely brought that nostalgic vibe back for me. Also, I think it's just like we sort of very glibly and tongue-in-cheek say this just Evil Dead, only shorter, but it's cool to see like even like the Sam Raimi cam, the floating camera through the woods, from the perspective of the evil force, is there from the beginning. The porch swing slamming into the wall is there from the beginning. The bit where they go down to the cellar, the dagger, all of that stuff.
Bruce
this,
Campbell,
of course,
just being himself. He's
just
exactly the same.
I did find it interesting that they're just Bruce and Ellen here. They don't They don't have. They're not Ash and. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed. I can't remember who Ellen Sandweiss' character's name was.
And Scotty was played by Scott Spiegel. So everybody kept their names except for Shelley was played by Mary. Was that a nickname? I got questions because everybody kept their names Mary. What secrets you got, Mary Valenti?
Who knows? Mary Shelley? Is it a Mary Shelley reference? Who knows? Yeah. But no, so this is such an important piece of horror history, especially for me, being the huge Evil Dead fan that I am. I was so thrilled that I finally got a chance to see this. It's definitely not something that everybody should necessarily needs to run out and watch. But if you're a serious Evil Dead fan, if you're just really into like the history of horror and that sort of thing, there's nothing here that you haven't seen done much better in Evil Dead and the later movies. But if you have that kind of interest, this is a great. I'm so glad that this is a document that still exists.
Are we going to be rating our short films?
Absolutely, we are.
Okay. I think I'm at the point where I could give a rating, and I'm curious what your rating is.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to go first, or should I?
You go ahead and go first, because you might get mad at me.
Well, Within the Woods, I kind of have to come at from again an interesting angle, and always with my skull ratings, I like to remind people that my rating always is more about just my experience with the film than necessarily a comment on the quality of the film. Again, I really enjoyed the lo-fi multiple transfers element of this in a very nostalgic fashion. It does put some limitations on the film and the experience, but it is, again, an important document in horror history, and I was thrilled just to get a chance to see this. I'm going 4 skulls for Within the Woods.
Whoa, 4 skulls. Okay. I am also, while we're doing these short films, just going to go on my enjoyment on a level of 0 to 5. Absolutely. Because I cannot compare these to full-length, full production things.
Oh, of course not.
This, as JD at least knows, is I don't really like the original Evil Dead. I don't have any nostalgia towards it, so I watched it later in life, and I went, I don't get the big deal. 2 is a lot more hokey, and so I enjoyed that. And Army of Darkness I really, really enjoyed, but just the first one never really did anything for me. So then watching the origin is kind of like it's cool to see where it started. And what I'd compare it to is I don't know why I sometimes get this in my head, but M. Night Shyamalan has some feature or like bonus content on, I think oh my god, whatever.
Going?
Yeah, hang on. M. Night Shyamalan has a bonus piece on one of his DVDs. I don't remember which one. I think it was Signs. And he's talking about how he got into filmmaking. And he plays basically some home movies he made when he was a very young child. And I tried to find some of them online, and I couldn't. So I'm going to track down the DVD. It is not his first full length from 92. It is a very, very young M. Night Shyamalan, and he put like a mask on a monster truck and it chased him around the house, and it's very, very funny. And I felt like this is on par with that. We're seeing the origin of something. No, JD thinks I mean quality wise. I saw his face. I just meant like seeing the origin, not basing it on the quality of what it is, but just like, wow, it's really cool to see what something started as. I think I would have enjoyed it actually a little bit more if it was Sam Raimi as like a 10-year-old making the films, you know, like just a very, very young, like what did we start with and what came out of it. Since this is kind of like an actual attempt at a movie, I didn't like it as much as M. Night Shyamalan being chased by a monster truck.
I think you do still have to remember that these were, they were still very young. They were college students in 1978, you know, so it's...
I know.
Even that is a drastic difference between college kids in 78 and 10-year-olds in like 88 or whenever Shyamalan was 10. I don't know.
So I'm just saying that I enjoy the historical element, even if I knew you would, even if I don't love it. I did really enjoy the sound design. I debated because of the quality, giving it a 0 just to make you mad at me.
I'll stab you.
But I am going to go with a 2, and that's not to make you mad at me. That's just how I feel about it. So
no, and like
I didn't get a lot out of it like you did.
Yeah, I feigned offense for effect. But like I said, like if you're not a huge Evil Dead fan, this isn't necessarily something that I would consider mandatory viewing, both because of the quality and just because, again, you've seen all of this already. The only thing that's different in here is in Evil Dead, it's the Necronomicon, and it's these evil, like, H.P. Lovecraft type spirits, and within the woods, it's like a Stephen King Pet Sematary native burial ground scenario, which frankly I'm very glad that they dropped and moved away from, even at that early stage of time when they could have left that plot and been just fine. Nobody would have batted an eye. But no, I think that's fair. I gave it a 4. You gave it a 2. That gets us right down the middle, kind of a little bit higher than the middle at 3. We got to keep these episodes shorter than the actual shorts, Michelle. So you got anything else we need to tell these people before we wrap things up here on Within the Woods?
Nope.
Here's what I think is funny about that is we have a short coming up later this week that's only 2.5 minutes long. How are we going to keep that episode shorter than the short?
4 times
We're not.
speed.
We're not. All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're here every day in Spooktober. Say goodnight, Michelle.
Good night, Michelle.
We Watch Shudder is a production of Rat Factory Media, your home for all of today's Rat Factoryist podcasts. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests of We Watch Shudder are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Rat Factory Media. But wait, aren't Rat Factory Media and We Watch Shudder the same people? Shut your cake hole, Charlie. Nobody asked you. We Watch Shudder is available free on all major podcast platforms, and the easiest way to support We Watch Shudder is also free. Just leave a rating and review on your platform of choice. Merge your consciousness with ours on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're at We Watch Shudder on all those social media platforms. Or find us the old-fashioned way, on the web at WeWatchShudder.com or by email at mail@WeWatchShudder.com. Heck, you can even leave us a voicemail at 701-566-9510. No, seriously, 701-566-9510. Try it if you dare.